Here we go again, a review of the muscular pump and how it helps get venous blood back towards the right side of the heart. So using our diagram as we have before, we talked about Boyle's law and how the respiratory pump allows blood, venous blood, to move from the abdomen to the chest when a person inhales. Because when you inhale, you make the chest bigger and the pressure inside becomes less. This allows the air to rush inside your lungs, but it also allows blood to move up into the chest through the inferior vena cava. When the diaphragm moves down to make the chest larger, it at the same time makes the abdomen smaller. So the volume of the abdomen went down, the pressure inside the abdomen went up, and in essence you squeeze the objects inside the abdomen. The inferior vena cava gets squeezed by this pressure in here, and the blood can either go down towards the legs or up towards the right atrium. It will go up towards the right atrium because the valves in the veins of the legs prevent the blood from moving downward. The blood that moves up through the inferior vena cava to the right atrium will drop into the right atrium, and in essence, slam dunk. It's inside the right atrium, drops down inside the right ventricle, and it won't fall out. So the next moment of time, we said that when the chest becomes smaller, when a person relaxes the diaphragm, it goes up, and the pressure in the chest goes up, blood won't move from the chest down into the abdomen because the blood already made it into the right atrium to the right ventricle. Now, the blood that was waiting inside the legs can now move from the legs into the abdomen because the abdomen's volume went up, the pressure in the abdomen went down, and so again, this greater pressure in the leg will allow that blood to move up into the abdomen. In the next moment, when a person breathes in, the diaphragm goes down, the abdomen gets smaller, the pressure gets larger. Again, you squeeze the inferior vena cava, and the blood then moves up towards the heart. All right. Now, another thing that allows the blood to move up towards the heart is the muscular pump. And the muscular pump refers to the fact that deep next to the bone, say in your leg, you have a deep artery and a deep vein, then there's muscle above that, and then skin above that. Well, it turns out that the artery, of course, has a pulse in it. And so when the pulse moves down the artery, say towards the foot, if we're talking about the leg, that pulse massages the vein. And it creates little high pressure zones as it moves through or by the vein. With the valves in the vein, this of course will allow the blood to then be pushed towards the heart. So the pulsing of the artery can massage the vein, and because of the valves inside the vein, the blood can move slowly up towards the heart. But also, when muscles are flexed, it's possible for the bulge of the muscle, as it gets thicker, to push the vein against a hard object such as the bone, and that also creates a pressure. So like it says, the bulging of the contracting muscle will massage the vein, and therefore you have the equivalent of a muscular pump. Okay, all this put together says that in the morning when you wake up, as an example, you can breathe deeply to get your blood pressure to go up because that helps return venous blood to your heart. That, of course, will increase your end-diastolic volume, and that will help increase stroke volume, and that will help increase cardiac output and blood pressure, and you wake up a little bit better. But also when you stretch, you're using this down here to help get that venous blood back up towards the heart and increase your end-diastolic volume, increase your stroke volume, increase your cardiac output, and increase your blood pressure. So the yawning and the stretching will help you out, or deep breathing right here will help you out, and moving the muscles around.